how would you react if you discover the child you've trained for years has not been yours through DNA test, and your wife purposely hid this information from you?
He said has been hiding it for long.
Yes,
The boy is mine. He's mine. I mean, you want to cause grief to yourself to be quarreling over maybe 20 years, something that has been hidden.
I would advise the woman to carry the child to where he picked it from, and ask and remain for God to pass His own judgment.
I will revenge you. I will revenge. I may even commit crime to the extent that maybe they can even take me to prison.
Hello there, this is Lifeline, a program designed to showcase different facets of the Nigerian experience with a view to highlighting those bits that make us uniquely Nigerian, from our culture to food to entertainment and, of course, fashion. It is a family program that will also examine some of the challenges encountered in Nigerian homes. In this first edition of the program, we ponder the issue of paternity fraud from a number of perspectives and raise a number of points not ordinarily seen as possible catalysts. My name is Devan Mom.
It's better we start by having a rough definition of what fraud means. Like in general statement, we say something is fraudulent. It was meant to deceive. It was meant to make a person act or think in a certain way, which, if the facts were known to the person, he would have acted or said something differently. So fraud, that means you practice fraud on somebody in his mind, to mold his mind in a certain way which is not correct. This is just very simplistic definition. Then when we talk of paternity relating to the father, paternity fraud. So that means it is a fraud practiced on a man who is a father or who is supposedly a father to a child.
In Nigeria, paternity tests can claim sole credit for familiarizing everyday people with the term DNA tests. DNA tests, also known as paternity or genetic tests, are carried out to ascertain, among other things, if a person is the father of an individual. It is one of the most accurate ways of determining paternity. In very rare instances, however, individuals with two different sets of genes can present a false negative even when they are biologically linked to the parent. In Nigeria today, there appears to be a rising trend of wives knowingly passing off children to their spouses, when in fact, such men are not the biological fathers of those children. Chinedu Ani Emmanuel, popularly known as Nidu Wazubia, found himself in the midst of just such a scandal some days ago. In his case, the wife has given her side of the story in a number of interviews.
So I can swear and tell you that from the day he walked into my life till the day he left, I was never with any man. You know, that's the easiest, that's what most men talk about, whether it's true or not. When couples have issues, these are the things that you hear. don't understand. I know you guys are just hearing it, but it is not and has never been a secret. This is a document that almost everybody has because I constantly get them from strangers. Like I'll just stay and somebody just sends it to my WhatsApp. I don't know you. People call me, people text me. It's been going on for a while. I was seeing somebody before I met Nedu. I was in a relationship and that relationship ended. But before that relationship ended, Nedu had already seen my picture somewhere on our mutual friend's WhatsApp or so, and then had been disturbing her to, I need to meet this girl and all. And shortly after that relationship ended, around that time I said, okay, you know what? My service here is coming to an end. Let me just go to Lagos and just come to Lagos. I have my half siblings in Lagos. So I came to Lagos and I met Nedu. Of course, I gave him headache. And he seemed like a very cool person. I was like, hey, why not? The first day we met, it was awesome. We had a great time. We clicked. And I was like, this guy is cool. I mean, we can give it a try. And then, as it was, I found I was pregnant. Trust me, I didn't even think the other way. Let me tell you what happened. So, along the line, while we were still married, Nedu became insecure, very insecure. And he was doubting the paternity of my last child, the second girl. He went about telling, his colleagues were calling me and I heard things like, Nedu said you guys only had sex once and you say you're pregnant. Please, how many times do you have to have sex to get pregnant? So he was doubting the paternity of that child and he went to find out. Unfortunately for him, it was the first.
Another case is that of a Delta State High Court judge who recently discovered that none of the 3 children by his former spouse are biologically his. Femi Kuti, son of Fela, the king of Afrobeat, and a music star in his own right, has also tasted of this bitter fruit.
My elder sister was like, just for, if you die today, my dear brother, if you die, do you know that you are going to cause a lot of problems in the family? Because this child that is not a Kuti will start, when Kuti say yes, this child will say no. That is what children that are not children of that family mostly do. When you find out why a lot of families are in disarray, you will see that maybe one of the children there is not a true born. And I didn't want to do it, but when that idea, I said, true, what if I died? These children, if any of these children that everybody is saying are mine, are not mine, then I'm going to cause a lot of trouble in the family. Okay, for security reasons for the family and my own sanity, let's do a DNA. The mothers, many of them refused to do it. Say, if you are sure that it's my child, let's do it. And then they went to do the DNA. And I found out 2 are not my child.
It is a situation many men fear, leading some to reject pregnancies, which may well have been sired by them. With advancement in science, however, those in doubt can make funds available for the test to be carried out. Said to be 99.99% accurate, many have been seen on social media applauding this scientific marvel. But one can only ponder how children caught in the middle of such scandals would feel.
That is news that is going to really mess me up. But the first thing I'd ask my dad is, now that he has done this DNA test and has discovered that he is biologically not my dad, what does he intend to do?
I feel so bad. I don't think I can ever forgive her because I passed through a lot of maybe. Let's say my caring come from other people who are not my biological family. I'll feel so bad. I will not be happy with her.
Well, I'll feel bad, like seriously. I'll feel bad because I'll be thinking it all the way. I'll be thinking it always. I'm not my daddy's son.
I think personally, if I'm the one, the man who I have grown to know and love as a father is the person I will go with, no matter what the DNA says.
Yeah, I'll feel pain because my mother, she did not tell me the truth.
Clearly, sexual indiscretion within the marriage is the obvious issue. Reasons for infidelity could, however, vary from one woman to the next.
There's nothing else except money. It's just money, you know. People I want to be like this person, I want to be like that person, you know. It's just money. Money is just the issue. Yeah, nothing more.
A woman can behave in such a manner when the husband is not satisfying her, e.g. sexually or financially. Yeah, those two things can cause a lady to go out of her marriage. But just because of the love she has for her husband will not make her to just say, I'm going to divorce or I want to divorce. She wants to stay inside the marriage, but due to one or two things will make her to go out of it.
You have cases of mother-in-laws putting so much pressure on their daughter-in-laws, asking them, when are we going to have the baby? And you see also men putting so much pressure on their wives, asking the wife, when are we going to have the baby? But is that enough reason for a woman to go out of her marital home, to go and sleep with another man, and get pregnant by the other person and brings the baby home as the child of her husband? That's not good enough reason.
Some women, their husbands are not satisfying them. Then they decide to go out, but their thinking is not to go and take pregnancy. But when they step into man, sometimes this pregnancy will come. And they cannot be able to tell the husband this is what happened. They will be afraid. And some, their husband, they are not men enough to pregnant their wives.
Sometimes it's a mistake as well. So people could be promiscuous, and even though they are married and they are in love, but they still cannot help but still cheat. And in the process, it could lead to some pregnancy, and they are unable to do what they should do, and they keep it and decide to hide it and allow it go like that and make the man believe that it's his child when in fact it isn't.
Health professionals also weigh in on the matter.
If you take us back to 30, 40 years ago, I would say that there has been astronomical increase in the rate of infertility. Even though, there is no strict documented figures. However, the rate at which of clinic attendance, for fertility issues, that's infertility, has been on the rise.
Africa, according to findings, basically has high value on children in a marriage. And when a woman does not have children, she faces a society, a family, and even a marriage of emotional turbulence. She is confronted with rejection. She is confronted with all kinds of circumstances that threaten her marriage, threaten her mental health, threaten her peace, and all that she needs to be settled in a home. And in many cases also, while this is on, while she suffers this, the husband is part of giving an impression that the challenge is from the woman. The society, first of all, sees the woman as the problem. when there is an issue like that?
You know, in the past, because of lack of access to care, you know, people don't come out. And one thing is ego too, because of the way fertility issue is being labeled. You know, people don't want to come out, and there's a misbelief that infertility is primarily a female problem. You know, so men don't even come at all. We're in a men-dominated world, you know. So even if the man has problem, the blame goes to the woman. So they don't come. But with civilization, education, you know, and awareness, you know, people are now coming forth.
However, there yet remains maternity fraud, another silent menace which not many are aware of.
This is an issue, like you said, is very common now. A woman might not be able to conceive, you understand, and she wants that marriage. She can go and make an arrangement to get a child, and they say they will give some people injection, they will look as if they are really pregnant. And on the 9th month, they will arrange at so hospital. She will go there. The next thing, the child is lying beside her. They say she's giving birth, and the husband will start jumping, praising God. So it is not the woman's child biologically, but it is still a fraud.
We've been watching the news here and there where we hear of baby factories in different parts of the country where teenage girls that get pregnant or without knowing they are pregnant, or getting pregnant and not knowing how to deal with it because they're teenagers and they have to deal with their parents and school and all of that. They often would find themselves in the hands of certain people who harbor them, who keep them, take care of them, and they give birth to the baby, and they are settled immediately and the baby is taken away. We don't know where these babies go to. They possibly are handed over to women who go to procure them in that regard.
I find it very difficult to believe that such places exist initially. But I mean, with time, of course, I mean, we know that these things, people go out to do things, you know, that you cannot imagine. Even educated people sometimes, you know, what happens is, you know, because I've had encounter with some patients who say they are pregnant and they are expecting, but they were told not to do scan. How can you not do a scan if you are pregnant? It means there is something you're hiding. And that pregnancy must be delivered in such place that they told you were pregnant.
Illegal maternity units, known as baby factories, are widespread in Nigeria's black market. Many of these factories are run by women who hire men to impregnate women, then sell the babies for profit. These baby factories are often small facilities masquerading as private medical clinics or orphanages. Individuals procure these babies for a range of reasons, including child labor, pedophilia, or even ritual sacrifice. UNESCO first coined the term baby factory in a 2006 policy paper, revealing that these facilities could be found in various parts of Nigeria. However, even in the face of maternity fraud, the very real possibility of malfeasance in hospitals should not be overlooked, as a family found. The father had doubted his child's origins, owing to the complete lack of resemblance to him and his partner. A DNA test eventually confirmed his suspicions. The baby's mother, in a bid to prove herself innocent of any wrongdoing, took a maternity test, which showed she was not a biological match to the child either. An investigation revealed that the hospital had given them someone else's child and passed theirs to another couple who were unaware of the situation. Could such scenarios be playing out in some Nigerian facilities too? Social media is frequently replete with stories of parents of a certain genotype supposedly birthing children with a different genotype. Could this be the result of just bad testing facilities or something more sinister? As more people resort to DNA tests for clarity regarding paternity, perhaps it would not be completely out of place to suggest the maternity test could be considered too. After all, there was a time in Nigeria when 3 women famously claimed to be the biological mother of 1 child, a situation which persisted for months before eventually being resolved. Paternity fraud is no doubt a family-shattering issue. How then can a home in such turmoil heal?
It is shocking, especially to the father. It could also come with some sort of depression because you're sad realizing that you're not the father. And for the man, it will equally come with the shame that you probably are not potent, or maybe you're considered impotent as well. Because let's say in the case of somebody who has up to 5 kids and the DNA shows that none of them is actually his biologically. Yeah, so to the children, that realization is also very shocking because they've grown to know the father as their biological father. And the realization that he is not their father comes with a lot of shock because now they can't believe who their real father is. They can't trust their mother about who their father is. So there's this shock of who am I? A big question, and it's a kind of existential question. Why am I here? Who is my father? It could lead to a lot of anxiety and even depression. And for many people, they may equally consider, like, what's the point of existence if this man that I so cherish, that I so admire, that I so look up to, because children look up to their parents as their models, and I have been looking up to him, and all along, he hasn't been my father, and only I'm realizing that now. So that would come with a lot of mixed negative emotions. To the mother, I think the mother usually knows a lot of times. You know, there are occasions she may not know because maybe she has been having a handful of affairs with so many men, including the married man, including the father or the husband.
And what is the stand of the law?
In one matter that went to court, you know, in those cultures then, they say if you didn't pay something on the head of a woman, if she gives birth, the child goes back to the mother's family as a member of that family. But, you know, the courts have litigated it. Say the biological father, once it is confirmed that you are the father, whether you paid money or not, the child is yours. Is it not correct? So that means that that tie of biology is stronger than any other tie.
But perhaps, at the end of it all, a philosophical approach might be the best way to go.
He's human. That's the truth. I make mistakes too.
And how would you feel towards your mom?
She's my mom. She gave birth to me for heaven's sake. You understand? That's life though. So we just take things or leave it the way they are.
And that is our conclusion regarding paternity fraud in Nigeria. While we do acknowledge that infidelity is usually the key factor, there are other possibilities as well. Possibilities that might not have occurred to you, our viewer. We hope you learn 1 or 2 things from it. Keep a date with us for another intriguing and inspiring edition coming soon.